And our first speaker is Bitlloch. This is so hard. Thank you so much. Is with Bellapart in Spain. He is the structural engineer director at Bellapart. He has worked in several cutting-edge projects such as the Skylight at the Hotel Ritz in Madrid and the flagship store in 54 Montaigne Avenue in Paris, as well as other exciting projects. He's working at Bellapart since 2018. He has studied architecture and structural engineering in Barcelona at UPC and has previous experience in structural engineering in Spain, in Switzerland. Without further ado, welcome Karl Hoek.
So, yeah, thank you for your introduction. So, as said, I'm Carlos Bitlloch, and I will be presenting the IKEA Valladolid, reusing an interior all-glass facade. Okay, so, okay, good. So I'm here on behalf of Bellapart. Bellapart is a building company, and we specialize in doing out-of-the-ordinary projects, like those ones that are on the screen. We operate worldwide, but mostly in France, the UK, and the USA. Nonetheless, all the engineering and in-house fabrication happens in a small town in the north of Spain, in Catalonia, near the French border. So going to the matter, Valladolid is a town in central northern Spain, and its IKEA store shares a building with a mall. So then in 2022, 2023, a major refurbishment was done in the mall, so in the store, and it changed the way that the store related to the rest of the mall. So first, there was some glass facade in the intersection between the store and the mall, and this glass facade was used as some kind of a display window. But then this space was to be filled with some shops in the ground floor and some restaurants in the first floor. So the client, which is IKEA here, decided to reuse part of this glass, nearly a third of the elements, into a new facade, interior facade, which was next to the start facade, so the original facade. And yeah, they did that because they have some kind of sustainability strategy. So speaking about the original facade was a 40 meters long, 10 meters tall facade, all glass facade with laminated glass. So here there was no need for weather tight or insulation because we have an interior facade. And I also had some 9 glass fins, which were L-shaped because they needed to go to the main structure of the building. And also, they were done in 4 sections, simply having glass less than 6 meters long to be able to be made by any fabricator in Spain. And they incorporated some metallic inserts, which was very cutting edge for the time. I will speak about those inserts later and the problems they had. During the service time of the facade, already 2 panels, it says 4 there, but it's 2 panels were retired from the facade in order to have an entrance in that point. So this was already some sustainable strategy and also cost-effective. You simply retire 2 panels, you have an entrance. Nonetheless, this strategy was not possible for the next stage, for this 2023 change into use. And the client here went to its sustainability strategy again and decided to have a BREEAM certificate. The good thing about the BREEAM certificate is that it gives you points if you reuse materials from your ancient project or for another project. And also, the client accepted the idea of all glass. Client accepted to have some aging marks in the glass, and also no warranty extension for this glass. So, warranty was already over. They did not ask for an extension. And also, yeah, you have some design constraints if you want to reuse glass. So presenting the new facade, which is, you can see here, the shops and also the restaurants, which are in the place of the original facade. And you have a facade that is roughly half of the original, so 20 meters long, 10 meters tall, which you can see here, we reused 16 panels. because the two panels over the door were to be a bit smaller, just to have a higher entrance. and you cannot cut heat-strengthened glass and have good results. And also 3 new glass fins were to be installed. You can see them over the door, where we did not have enough room for the original fins. But then one fin is in the double space in the left of the entrance, and it was meant to partially salvage one of the beams, one of the original fins, 2 sections of it. Nonetheless, the state of the inserts was not good enough for using them. So these original thick inserts were placed in the 2 middle plies of a 4 laminated glass. And in the literature at the time, it was not that well studied. But afterwards, we realized, and everybody realizes, that you need to have, if you want to do this and you want to have long-term delamination protection, you need to have a metal that have very extremely near physical properties to the physical properties of the glass. So temperature will act very poorly and will destroy your lamination. And here what happened, we already knew that they were made out of stainless steel, not of titanium, so we would have this damage risk. We checked them when they were installed. We did not see any major delamination. Some delamination was there, but this is understood as normal for an insert. But after we transport everything, so we dismantled the facade, we put everything into a truck, we transported it to our premises, 700 kilometers. And after this vibration test, the fins did not pass that test. So the delamination was all overall, so we need to dispose of them. And for the new fins, use a mechanical fixation, which is way easier and way simpler. And for the rest of the glass, as said, the client did not ask for extension of guarantee, so we did not no physical testing in how it was. Simply visual testing: is it delaminated? It isn't, or if we saw something strange on the glass. There were only marks of aging, and the client accepted these marks of aging that you can see here on the screen as part of the process. Then for this presentation and also for the paper that will come, we wanted to add some value, and this value is based on making a GWP quantification. So if you go to the standard and you look at all the stages that the public might be familiarized with, everything that we did and everything that everybody did in the job should be in B5 refurbishment. Nonetheless, this will give us no detail of what did we do with the facade or how advantageous the facade was. So you can turn, if you have this problem, you can turn to the literature. In this case, in the last challenging glass, some approach was presented that could be used in this case, which is by Tiwen et al. And here we have a donor building, which in our case would be the original facade, a receiving building, which will be the new facade. And you link all those stages, especially doing a quantification on the C phase of the donor project and then the A phase of the receiving project. So in our case, we are a building company. We have registers, we have records of everything we did in A phase. We do not have that for the C phase, basically because what we did for the project was simply go there, take everything that could be reused. If it couldn't be reused or it was not in the part that we did, so it was not one of the elements to be reused, we simply let it there, and another company managed the disposal of the rest of the elements of the facade. And then also for the things that we dispose of, they are managed by another company. So quantification of the C phase will add no value to what we did. So we get A phase, so all these stages. And then we have to add something else. We have new materials and reused materials. So for the new materials, we go to A1 to A3 from the EPDs. And for the original materials that we reused, we simply put an A1 stage for the disassembly of the facade. Then A1 to A3 should be everything, yeah, from the fabrication process, but if you buy metals, you have to add some transportation to Bellapart and then some further manufacturing. So these two stages, A2 and A3, for what we did, are considered as for all of the materials. Then, going forward, two of these stages are null. They are null because they happened on site using only electrical equipment. The thing about this is that the mall and the store have green energy. So according to the Spanish authorities, you can put it 0 in GWP for green energy. Obviously, it will not be 0, never be 0, but it will be negligible for the current study. And finally, what we did for this quantification was to consider two scenarios, so reuse and no reuse, so the real one and a comparison one, using the same suppliers and some share of suppliers. All the details will be declared on the paper that will come in some time. So if you want to look at it, you could look there. Now I'm simply going with the results. So we have reuse scenario, where even if we reduced 84% of the weight of the glass and 32% of the weight of the stainless steel, the EPDs of the new materials are dominant. So 75% of GWP comes from them. And also we have the A2, the A2 module, which is 13%, which is a lot. This is because we had to do a dedicated transport to go to Valladolid and come back to our premises, and this added a lot of GWP to the quantification. No reuse scenario, other scenario, we have more than double the amount of GWP. And here we can see that, yes, the A2 is very small because these kind of transportations are non-dedicated transportations, which are way more optimized. If we compare the two scenarios very quickly, we can see that we have 53% of reduction in GWP for the reuse scenario compared to the no reuse scenario. So this share of the EPDs, the share of the new materials, is very important. I think the public will be fairly familiarized with this, but well, we have data here for this project. And also, even if you do a lot of transportation for reducing the materials, this is not that influential in the overall, because transport is not that important for the quantification. So to end up, conclusions, reuse of laminated glass can be a reality if the client understands the constraints that it has, so design and aesthetical constraints. Also, the points on the certifications are key in order to achieve, so in order to motivate the client to do that. And also, yeah, I have listed here some improvement possibilities for the GWP, which will be wider reuse of the panels, because we only reused half of them, a third of them. Also reducing the carbon steel that there is inside the portico, which was not optimized, or reducing the salvaged glass transportation. This was done for logistical reasons for us, but could find another way. And some things that are already in the way, it's decarbonizing the electrical grid, which is every time more in a reality in Spain. In the time it was 50% renewable energy. Last year it was 55%. And also reducing heavy-duty vehicle emissions, which is something that is already low. So that's all from me. Thank you for your attention. I don't know if there isn't any time left. I see a negative there. But if there is any time left, okay, I will be glad to answer any of your questions if there are.
Yes, we have time for questions. One question.